say, me, I want to do my own. This is how I want to. You cannot do it your way. You don't have a way. He is the way, not an option of many ways. The way. You must follow the pattern. In Exodus 25 and verse 9, the Lord said to Moses, see to it, that you build according to the pattern I show you. This is the pattern of the tabernacle and all its furnishings. Just so, exactly as. Don't do your own. Don't say, if we just put one drape here, if we just do one ephesi here. No, you don't add. Verse 40. He repeats it. He says, see to it. You guys, when I want you to be slow, you are fast. When I want you to be fast, you are slow. What's doing you? Which spirit are you operating by? You should slow. No, I want to address the spirit. He says, see to it that you make them according to the pattern which was shown you on the mountain. And Christianity is a tabernacle as well. It's a tabernacle. Hebrews 9:11 tells us that Christ came as high priest of the good things to come with a greater and more perfect tabernacle, not made with hands, that is not of this creation. So if the first tabernacle, that was even a replica, a shadow, was to be made exactly as, how much more this one? You can't build it your own way. There's something I always say, and I want to emphasize that point this way, that Christianity is not a religion. In fact, let me say this. God, the Almighty, creator of the heavens and the earth, Yahweh, has never created a religion. He has never. He has never established a religion. He has never told the people, this is your religion. Let me ask you, what was Adam's religion? Somebody tell me. What was Abraham's religion? Noah's religion? What was Moses' religion? Well, let me ask you something. David, we always call David. What was David's religion? Was David a Christian? So somebody will be thinking they are Christian. Say, maybe it's Judaism. Let me tell you something. Judaism is not a religion. It's not. It was simply a way by which they described the culture of the Jews. It was the Greeks that called it, Judaism. Before it translated to, after Judah. They named it after Judah. So if we say that it is the tribe of Judah, how can it be Judah? Because all Israelites are not Judah. They just used it to describe them, that the way these people behave, let's call it something. It was not a religion. It encompassed their arts, their culture, their norms, their practices, and of course, their worship of God. It was a way of life. So the Greeks just named it after Judah, Yehuda. God never called what he asked them to practice by any name. In fact, the first time Jew is mentioned in the Bible, that this person is a Jew, what does it even mean? It's the Greeks too. They wanted to call those people something. So they called them, because they had brought them out of Judah, when they went to extract them and brought them to their own land, they started calling them Yehudites. Yehudites, and these ones are the ones that we brought from Judah. The first time Jew is mentioned in the Bible is in the book of Esther, when they were trying to describe where Mordecai came from. So Judaism came out of that as this, the way they are worshiping, the way they are behaving, all these things, let's call it something. God never called it that. In fact, if you wanted a proper name for what they were doing, maybe you would call it Mosesism. That's more accurate. Because it's Moses that gave them the laws and the practices, not Judaism. So God never set up a religion. Similarly, Christianity is not a religion, it is a way of life. It is the culture of heaven. It is a following of the way of God. If I look at the way I wrote it, it is the culture of the people of the supreme royal kingdom of heaven, whose king is Yahweh, the immortal, the invisible, God only wise. It's a culture. It is a way. And the faith we claim to be practicing must be according to his pattern. We don't have our own style. And what's his pattern? What's the pattern? You see, the church is not an institution or a building. You say, I'm going to church. You can't go to church. Because you can't go to yourself. You are the church. That's his pattern. The church is a people in whom the living God has made his tabernacle. Let me give you an example. Courtyard of Truth is not the church or a church. You and I, the human beings, we are the church by his design. Let me complicate it more. Courtyard of Truth Christian Ministries is merely an identifier for the part of the church that meets here. It's just an identifier. So, okay, these people, because before they could say the church at Corinth, the church at Ephesus, or the church that meets in Chloe's house, you know. But now, how do you say it? If you even say the church that meets in Corridor house, there are 4. So we say, okay, just so that you can have a description. That's why we give it a name. But the church itself, his church, are people who have subscribed to his way. That's who the church is. The place where we meet is not the courtyard of truth. We wanted to give it a name. The name of the place is the king's courtyard. And in the courtyard of the king, you don't do anyhow. Ask Esther. There are protocols. When you are in the courtyard of the king, you don't do anyhow. You don't have your own opinion that, king, you said we should, let me just tell you my own. No, you will die. That day you will die. If he doesn't straight out his set out, you say, okay. Esther was on a suicide mission. Because there are protocols. You don't do anyhow. This is how me I want to pay me a beg. Why they tell us to stand? Why are they telling us to lift our hand? This is my own opinion. Is that they worship with your hand in your pocket. That's your opinion. You know, told a story about a local man who invited people to a dinner. When they came, they found one guy there that decided that, you see, all this actual, all this clothes, I beg him. Just dress anyhow. And they said, but why did you like this to come here? He said, this is how I feel. If you were a Jay-Z guy like this, yeah, man, I'm feeling this cloth. Feeling it. Because you don't do anyhow. See, let me tell you. Even the villa, you don't do anyhow. You can't just be in the villa and just turn to one corridor and go. You may never come back. Because they will ask you, but how? Why? You cannot just say, this is how we will just drive your car to any street because you are inside the premises of the villa. You can't do that. You must follow protocols. You must. You can't just park out and feel like parking here. Second Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 16. And what agreement has the temple of God with idols? For you are the temple of the living God. As God said, I dwell in them and walk among them. I will be their God, and they shall be my people. See, let me say this. God is not coming for institutions like Cooking, Living Faith, Redeemed, Equa. So that in turn he might present the church to himself in glorious splendor, without spot or wrinkle or any such thing, that she would be holy, set apart for God and blameless. You see, the promises of God in the Bible letter and took it to Hezekiah, he could have read the letter and be afraid or angry or frustrated. But how did he react? 2 Kings 19. 2 Kings 19. Verse 14. Because we see this practice with the disciples. When there was a storm, they were panicking. But what was the way? Calmness. Jesus was calm. He didn't panic. That's the way. When there are storms, when there are pressures, when there are discomforts, what is the way? Is it panic? If you are panicking, you are not in the way. In this kingdom, we don't panic. Because panic is an expression of fear and the denial of faith. Are you following me this morning? So, Hezekiah, 2 Kings 19, go, let's read from verse 14. Verse 14, go back one verse, please. Hezekiah received the letter from the hand of the messengers and read it. There were threats in the letter that we're going to wipe you out, we're going to do such and such. If you try to pray to God, go and ask other people what we did to them. They were praying to their gods. Whether you pray or not, we are taking you out. Hezekiah read this letter. And Hezekiah went up to the house of the Lord and spread it before them. Many of us, when pressures come, the first thing you pick is, my guy, what you are doing. You have not even spread it before the Lord. The way, this kingdom, that's what we do. We first of all take the issue and spread it before the Lord. You are running from pillar to post. Have you taken that matter before the Lord? You don't trust God. You think it's that your guy, that your confidant, that contact on your phone that will help you. So you pick your phone instead. Or maybe the person cannot help you, or you look for somebody that will help you, stew in pity. So boy, now wow, this country, oh, very rough. Zaba, baby. You see what I do now? When we start to discuss things and speak negative things about Nigeria, I just quietly walk away. I'm not going to be part of that conversation. I've learned this thing. When they send me bills or they send me, I just go and spread it. Somebody said something about Courtyard of truth. And look, I'm not saying the person was, somebody from the inside, the person will know. When I say the person will know that the person said, I was saying this is what we should do about the person. It's not, I don't think it's somebody from the outside. And the person said we will do intentions. I'm just telling you how I practice this thing.